Alright, you'll have to excuse the wind. It is a lot worse than I thought it was going to be, but just out riding around today, just seeing what the water levels are looking like, and they're definitely a lot higher up, like closer to summer pool, like they should be. So I pulled up to this spot here. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop here. It's closest spot with some confidence. And I smelled something awful, and this is something that I absolutely cannot stand. It's pathetic. It's disgusting, and it makes the rest of us look bad. That is a pile of dead fish. Carp, gar, who knows what else. It's just disgusting. And crap like that right there is why I have a serious dislike for the bow fishing and snagging crowd. It's just, why? It's a waste of fish. I mean, what's the point in shooting the damn things if you're just gonna throw them on the bank? Anyway, I'm gonna get some stuff tied up, go down here and see if we can catch a fish. If not, probably jump ship and go back to where I started out at and see if we can make something happen. I didn't exactly plan on starting this video out negatively like that, but it really does just piss me off when people do stuff like that and just dump fish everywhere, especially when it's in a parking area. Now, honestly, my whole mood for this spot has just kind of been shot all to pieces because of that. Well, as you can tell, we don't have a lot of room that we're going to be able to fish under the bridge today because, well, water's up to summer pool, which is kind of sort of a good thing because it makes for a lot more space for fish to come in, like carp, catfish, and stuff. Nobody home. Good, because I'm not in the mood to deal with people now. Alright, what do I want to do first? Crappie jig or BFS spinnerbait? You know what? Let's just feel the waters out for a minute and throw a crappie jig. Hey, we actually got some here. What is it? And it was super shallow. Hey, it's first fish is a special one. Ain't caught one of y'all in a while. And barely hooked too. Black nose crappie. Now the way you can tell the difference between a black nose and a magnolia is the black nose is, well, a male black crappie with this gene that changes the pigment on its face where it gets the black stripe. Now if it's a white crappie with that black stripe, it's a magnolia crappie. It's a female white crappie with male black crappie genes. Let's get you back. There went a gar about 1.5 feet or so long, which I tried to catch because I like gar, unlike some anglers. But it would have shredded this braid because I don't have a leader on. There's a bicycle under the bridge, like up on the pillar. Now that's new. I have no idea what that was, but it was very large. Bigger than anything that I would really want to tangle with on lighter gear for crappie. But it definitely caught me off guard and I may have pooped a little bit. Well, nothing wants the BFS spinnerbait, which, by the way, this spinnerbait is made by Pig Jigs 247. I'll leave a link in the description to his channel and his website so you can check some stuff out. But he makes a lot of really nice handmade BFS size stuff. Like this is a 1/16 ounce spinnerbait that he makes. The trailer on it is actually a Kitech, but he does sell his own swim baits now, so definitely check those out. Well, apparently nothing else really wants to bite down here, so we're gonna book it back somewhere else on the way home and hopefully catch a couple more crappie, or anything really. Anything, literally. Now there's I fear that the gar spawning is starting to scare a bunch of fish out, and which there's a lot of carp in this spot right now, because I've kind of been watching farther up where it's really shallow along that grass line, and I've seen some trails and wakes and stuff like that, but so far nothing. Well, I know this spot don't look familiar. And I'm tangled. This spot's literally just down the road from where we were just at, so figured why not. Still throwing that Pig Jigs spinner bait, and let me tell you, that thing feels like a freaking chatterbait with the way it thumps going through the water. I mean, this is a small spinner bait. Like I said, it's like 1/16 ounce or something like that. That thing thumps. Like, I can feel it all the way through this rod. Fish. What y'all are? Little yeller bass. You can chill out. You kind of plump. You either full of shad or you're spun. You is also super shallow too. Well, we got contact with it. That's all that matters. Another one. Hey, I'll take a messy yellow bass. Hey, you're sharp. You need to stop. I swear these fish are like tiny little hypodermic needles. Beast. I tell you what, they don't fight very hard, at least those like that, but they definitely hit with the attitude. And we're just fishing right along the edge of this riprap, because it is about that time of year stuff starting to come up shallow, especially crappie, to spawn and such. So might as well fish where I figure they might be. Actually drove by another place on the way here, but yeah, it's a whole heck of a lot steeper. Levels of rocks have to climb down, and I ain't about that. Nothing. Another old yeller. Monster. El Gigante. Well, one last look. Get you back. I was kind of hoping to get into some white bass or some bigger crappie this afternoon, but I'll take what I can get, because my work schedule the last the last 2 weeks has changed like crazy, and I haven't been able to fish like I'd want. You know, working off days to help the crew out and all that, which I didn't exactly want to do, and there was a fish, and that thud you heard was the fish smacking against that rock. I think it was a teeny tiny little bass. But yeah, I was hoping to get out and do some more fishing earlier this week, but schedule changes a lot. And that don't exactly help the fishing and the YouTube thing, but hey, priorities are priorities. Like, today is the first time I've been able to get out and fish in about a week and a half. Just barely did feel that bite that I didn't get to see exactly what it was. Probably another little yellow bass. They seem to be hanging like right here on this little, I guess you could say, point, if you want to call it that. But it just turns to a flat, like all the way across through here is just a big mud flat. Oh, there's a bite. I have to be careful which way I point y'all underneath the bridge here, because of all the idiotic racist crap that's been painted and scratched underneath the bridge. Man, it took you a minute to get it down. You nibbled at that thing for a good while. We only catch the biggest of the big on this channel. I dropped down to a 64th ounce jig head, which quite literally cut my casting distance in half. So that kind of sucks. I can still reach where some of the fish are apparently sitting at, but not getting that distance that I want. But having that little bit smaller hook can definitely help with hookup ratios on these smaller ones. Didn't need any help getting that one to hook. Jeez, dude. Jeez, look at that yellow bass. Look at the crazy colors on that thing. I gotta get a picture of you. Look, you're one of the yellowest yellow bass I've caught in a long time, and I'm not wearing a yellow shirt. Alrighty. Go back and tell some bigger ones where I'm at. But yeah, like I said earlier, I really was just planning today to just ride around and look at the water levels, because it is about that time. You know, stuff's coming up to summer pool, and this is definitely getting there. Like, it's got a little ways to go. It's usually up to about the bottom of this bigger rock right here. But there's already been some big catfish caught out of this spot, so I'm gonna have to drag the kitty sticks down here eventually. See if I can make something happen. But yeah, there's been several good channel cats and one blue over 30 caught out of here. Not gonna say who it did or who it was that caught it, but they're in here. As a matter of fact, this clip right here is from this spot. Several years ago, this is before my YouTube time, up here with Creek Fishing Adventures, and I'll leave the video linked in the video description so you can go check the whole thing out. But yeah, well over 170 pounds of catfish caught, and like 4 or 5 new PB catfish, including one over 40 pounds. Well, this video is going to be pretty short if I decide to turn it into one, which if y'all are seeing this, I did, obviously. But again, that's one of those things. You're not going to catch a bunch of fish every time you go out, and you ain't going to catch big fish every time you go out. But it's all the same to me. I like these little bitty ones. As long as I'm catching fish, I couldn't really care less about the size of them. You know, I'd prefer big ones. I prefer numbers of big ones, but that's not always going to happen. So I will take them little ones when I can get them, because I'm a numbers angler. Which reminds me, I still need to update my logbook from last month. And here we are, almost the end of April, and I still haven't updated March. You know, another thing that's not helping me is I've got wind coming from, you know, head on here, and it's not helping my casting distance whatsoever, or the accuracy, because it is blowing my jig. Whenever I cast straight out, it's blowing my jig straight to the bank, like before it touches water. That was unexpected. What are you? Dude, you know what? Screw it. I'm calling it on that one. I'm going home. I had no idea where that one landed, because like I said, the wind was blowing my jig as soon as I get it into the air to the bank. No idea where it went. Started to lift my rod up, start reeling it, and felt like a snag. So I was like, dang it, snagged. Sure enough, we got like a 12-inch or so. Yeah, there we go. Get myself on that. We got about a 11, 12-inch white crappie. So we're gonna get this thing documented and call her quits. I should also probably get a outro while I'm thinking about it. Well, yep, we're gonna call her quits on that one. It's getting a little bit late to film, but I did learn something today. The 2 crappie that I did catch, and pretty much everything else, were up very shallow along rocks. So the other places that I can catch crappie at, I'm going to start looking, well, up shallow like I have the last couple of months, because it's about that time for the crappie spawn. Well, this evening turned around a little bit. We did catch a handful of fish. Like, this is lower than my particular standard for a video as far as numbers of catches and all that, but hey, I am a channel representing the average angler catching whatever is willing to bite. And you know, that black nose crappie there at the very beginning was kind of special. I've actually caught the snot out of them. I've heard that they're supposed to be pretty rare, but I find that hard to believe. And then I don't catch a lot of white crappie, so that one was definitely pretty special to me. And that thing had to have been in less than a foot of water, because my line was wrapped around this one little flower, like right there. And yeah, I ain't gonna complain. Caught fish, that's all that matters. Anyway, if you like this type of content that is put out by a dude with a camera, which that's me. I'm just a dude with a camera recording his fishing trips. Nothing crazy, nothing special. But if that's what you're into, check out all the links in the video description. The very top one's the channel membership link, so you can sign up there and get early access to videos. Everything else will be affiliate links and socials for the channel, like Facebook and Instagram, so check all that stuff out. Anyway, it's getting dark. I got about a 45-minute drive home.